G'day folks, it's Cortezerino. Never fear, we are almost done in my little desert AFK area. We're not going to spend the whole episode here, but I just wanted to bring you back to show you a couple of things I've done. And I also have one other thing I want to finish off before we leave. So the first thing to show you is my new iron collection system. I've now got 4 rows of chests there to collect the iron, and what have I done is definitely the right phrase to describe this. I haven't even AFK'd here yet. This is just while I've been building. I've got all that iron. Definitely 5 of the Dock M iron farms was far too much, and that is not going to be enough storage. So I've also done a sneaky little bit of extra storage out the back here to get all the overflow when that fills up, which will not take very long. And let's just hope we don't get any poisonous spiders spawn. And let's see if we can fly out of here. Yes, we can. Oh, didn't get quite enough height with that one rocket. But yes, over here where I was trying to... Oh, good landing, Cortez. I was trying to get the iron golems to stop spawning where the villagers are. So this is what I've done. Just a little bit of carpet on these blocks around here. And then at the front, I didn't want to interfere with their vision between the villagers and the zombies. So I was a bit worried about putting an extra bit of carpet on top of this trapdoor. So rather than carpet, I've just got a button there. And that does seem to be stopping the golems from spawning. You see, golems don't follow the same spawning rules as other mobs. Previously, they would have been able to spawn on this stuff, but things changed in 1.13. And now it does look like carpet and that button is stopping them from spawning in here. So that is good. And we are getting pretty crazy rates down there. But if you look around, you might not be able to tell what I've done. But see that pool of water right there? That used to be part of a river. And I have gone and filled the entire thing in up to about there. So I think squid can still spawn in those bits of water there, but basically I'm trying to get squid spawn in there, and actually they're probably going to spawn in this flowing water I've got. But this took me a whole day, guys. I've filled this in all the way at the bottom, and it is not a shallow river, as you can see. That took a lot of sand, but I think that will do me for the time being, and we're just going to play around with this little spot and see if we've got some squid spawning. And they have, as you can see here, just got a bit of ink floating around. They have been suffocating themselves on the banks here. So I thought about just putting a line of hoppers around the banks, but I want to try to speed this up a little bit, and that is why I've got an inventory with tons of soul sand. Because I guess the squid will spawn in the bubble columns. One of the guys on the Diamond Society last season built a bubble column squid farm. So they should spawn in there, and that way we can push them up and push them onto some hoppers really quickly. I'm a bit worried about adding extra lag to this area because I got my TNT dupers, but I'll throw down a bit of soul sand and we will see what the lag looks like. And I think I'll actually grab this gravel while I'm here. I'm actually having trouble finding gravel nowadays. I don't want to tear up the ocean beds around where I've been building, around my oil rig and stuff. Don't want to make it look horrible. So where's the best place to get gravel nowadays, guys? Is it in the Nether? It probably is, but if you know a super good place to get it, please tell me. I never have enough anymore. And I don't know what Mayang's done, but ghost blocks are definitely back, guys. I have been getting tons of them. I keep getting distracted by all the ink sacs that keep appearing. So I've squared this area off a little bit. I haven't placed a soul sand yet because I'm guessing if the soul sand's not too bad as far as lag goes and I decide to use it, then I'll probably use a smaller area, maybe a little bit deeper. But if I find the soul sand's terrible and I don't like the extra lag from the bubble columns, then I'll probably keep a size about this big and then run hoppers all the way around. But here is the moment of truth. We're going to lay a little bit and see what happens. Hey, little fishies! They're going crazy. So basically what I will have is at the top some water pushing along sideways into the hoppers. And that's nearly two stacks of soul sand. That's about as much as I would want to use. I think I'm getting a little bit of frame rate issues here, but the way to tell is the dangerous way. We're going to see if that affects my TNT tree farm. Please don't have a blowout. And you can hear, well, you can't hear while the explosions are going off, but all that ticking underneath. So I've got all the items automatically going into a water stream and coming over to these chests here. So that is where they're all coming in. And then the other chests are basically so I can store other stuff. You know what though, guys? Just moving my camera around, I don't think I like the bubble columns there. Everything's just a little bit weird, and I really don't want to have to change my frame rates for this. It's not too bad if it's you're doing my Guardian farm design that has the bubble columns, because when you go there, you have to turn them off, and then you can turn the particle effects back on when you leave. But in an area like this where I tend to be doing other things, I don't want to just pop in here and have that. So you know what? I think I won't use the bubble columns for this squid farm. I've got plenty of iron. I'm just gonna run a line of hoppers around the sides. Alright, that's a tiny bit disconcerting. As soon as I finish building it, there are no longer any squid left. It is probably just a coincidence, but I saw a couple suffocating while I was building that. Maybe I should wander off and we'll come back and see if any are in there. There we go. They do spawn in there. I was getting worried. And he's suffocating pretty quickly too. I think he's suffocating. Are you dying, mate? Yes, kind of. A little bit slow to die, but very quick to get onto the hoppers. Alright, I think that will do me. We'll see what kind of rates we get out of that thing, but I really don't want to go to too much effort just for a little bit of ink. I'm not really planning to use any ink. It is just handy to have one around. Alright, let's head back to my mountain village. So I want to start expanding this village a little bit, and I think where I want to begin is on the other side of this river. So probably the first thing we have to do is make a little bridge, and we can start building a bit of a city. But what I also want to do is, you can see this path from the mountain village just ends here. That's partly to do with having a bridge, but I also wanted to build a bit of a waterfront. You see, we've got this big mound of earth right here. That'll probably go. And I've got a doorway coming out of the tavern, just going to nowhere. This is because I want to have a bit of a seating area out here, overlooking the river. And then we might even expand the mountain village out to behind the inn, just over there. But let's get a tiny bit of a better view. Where's a high bit that I can get to? Probably the top of this roof. So this is kind of going to be separate from the rest of the city I'm building. It's a bit more rustic. But over there, I think, in all those trees is where I want to start building a nice Austrian city. And you can see the plains up the back. I'm probably going to reserve that for farmland, just because in here we've got a lot of different biome changes. You can see there's dark oak over there, and I don't really want in farmland, if I were to build the farmland out there, just the different colours of the different biomes affecting the grass. It would look a little bit weird, but in a city you're not really going to see it. So I think, we might start with a bridge and a little bit of a waterfront out here, but I don't know what I'm building yet. So before we start doing that, as I'm just thinking about ideas, I might start getting this area ready, just doing a bit of grindy work. We're going to fill in a lot of these pools of water with dirt. I'm going to light up as many caves as I can. And we're going to cut down a few trees as well. You know, guys, after doing all that work, chopping down trees and lighting up caves, I really felt like a tasty beverage. But it was such a nice day, I really didn't want to have to sit down inside, which meant I had some more work to do. You know, I reckon this is the first thing I've built in a time lapse. Like, this whole village, it's the first thing I've built that actually looks good even without the shaders on. It looks pretty awesome. So I did all of that, and the reason I did all of that was simply so I could put my little bridge in right here. So I needed some sort of walkway around the base of the river here so we could get a bridge going and a road going up to our little village. But, and this bit here, this took a while to figure out how to get it to look somewhat good in the side of the hill. And the reason I put this in is because I'm not really building anything just out on this little outcrop. Just because of the way I've faced the houses, there's no paths coming in here. It's just all rugged, sort of scrappy land there. It's all overgrown. But I thought this little outcropping of land, if it was in a normal city, then it's definitely going to be a place to come out and enjoy the view. So that's what I've done. I've just put a little balcony here, a little lookout, so we can check out the river, and eventually there will be a city down there. And I don't know if it's, I haven't edited the time lapse yet, so I don't know if it showed up, but I had to kill a wandering trader who they keep coming into my time lapses. They're so annoying. The only thing worse is the pillagers. They show up as well. But I'm worried now because I've been killing all these wandering traders. Do they count as villagers? So when I go to do some villager trading, are they going to charge me a fortune? I have no idea. This is a nice little touch. I've got this. You get this in a lot of places in Australia at little outdoor restaurants and stuff. They have the menu out the front, so I thought that looked pretty good. So we've got our little outdoor area here for the tavern. So the tavern is pretty much complete. But we have one problem. I built all of this so I could do the bridge, and I've actually started to design a house for that area over there. A couple of houses actually, because it's going to be higher density housing. So a couple of them are going to be really close together. But since I've done all of this, I've sort of opened up a little area around the back of the tavern, and now it looks kind of weird that I haven't built anything here, and it's obvious prime real estate for the village. So let's get a bit of a better view. I think maybe from the top of this little hill over here, you can see the area we've got. Let's have a landing. So it's really good. The landscape sort of fits in with this too, because we've got a nice sort of ridge line going all the way around. So sort of a defensive wall against whatever is lurking in the forest. But yes, now I'm thinking, guys, I was going to build out that side of the river, but I think we need to turn my mountain village into a mountain town, because we've got all this area here. Oh, and another thing, you see this big hill over here? I wasn't actually going to build out this way, but this hill is screaming castle at me. So perhaps we won't use this whole plains area for farmland. This might turn into city as well, if I end up putting a big castle on top of this thing. You never know, We're not doing it today, but we may get to it eventually. And you'll notice the excessive use of anvils here. I've got so much iron. I'm scrambling for ideas on how to get rid of it, and I'm never going to. I did some more AFKing, and once again we have way too much left. All these anvils didn't even make a dent in my iron reserves. But I'm actually being a little bit sneaky with this time-lapse today, guys, because you'll notice when I did the time-lapse for the mountain village, I used a time-lapse from one of my Let's Plays. When I built that house up the top, I thought it'd be a bit weird for me just to start with that house there, so I reused the footage of building that, and I think that's what I'm doing again. I'm planning another great big time-lapse, the kind that will take me probably 1.5 to 2 weeks to put together. So we're getting a head start on it with this little waterfront right here. So when I put it out, probably in about 2 weeks, I don't know what I'm building yet, but when I put it out, you will probably see that bit of time-lapse reused. So this way I can actually get a few videos out while I'm working on a great big mountain town, by the looks of it. You know, a lot of people say to be successful at YouTube that you need to be consistent and putting out videos every day and all that junk. Well, first of all, that doesn't really suit my style of doing videos anyway, but I really disagree. I could put out a Let's Play every 3 or 4 days, and I don't think I would see much growth in the channel. The vast majority of my subscribers probably come from about 10 videos. And I think it's really worth it putting in the extra time, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and just making a super duper awesome video. And I think even though you haven't put out any videos in the time you've been working on it, I think you're going to see much more success in a YouTube channel doing it that way. Like that mountain village time-lapse. I didn't put out a video for a week and a half while I was working on that. And then that one in the past, I think 9 days, has had 40,000 views and my subs have gone through the roof. It's great. Here is the dodgy squid farm. I could do this so much better, and I might if I ever need tons and tons of squid. But it is working. I AFK'd overnight and I got 3 stacks. So it's not super fast, but it is doing the job at least. But let's look at the iron that I got from AFKing for about 9 hours. Absolutely ridiculous, guys. It is crazy. How many double chests is that? We're still going. Here we go. We've stopped. And you'll notice the iron isn't ticking up at the moment. I've just arrived in this area. And I don't know if it's a weird sort of bug, but the villagers, I guess, have decided they haven't slept. So as soon as the first night comes along and the villagers hit the hay, then the iron golems will start spawning, and that is basically ticking up every single second. And what do you know, guys? We are leaving where we started. So thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Cheers. I'm Cortezerino. I will see you later.